The piano Wargames miniatures, the sculpts of the faces are incredibly lifelike. Hello everybody, it's Rudy at Claude Painting Studio. In today's video I'm going to paint up an Austrian, German infantryman in the shako, which kind of came into use after about 1809 in the Napoleonic period. This model is a 3D print from Piano Wargames, 28mm, and it's been sent to me by the Glasgow ACVC Club, who are putting on a game of the Battle of Leipzig in July. I'll put some links in the description if you want to buy tickets and go along and play. All models will be provided. And it's raising money for a veterans charity. So a good day out plus a good cause. The model has been primed with Games Workshop's Wraithbone, and I'm going to be using Army Painter Speedpaints in the main to paint this. We'll do a bit of dry brushing with acrylics. Most of an Austrian uniform is sort of an off-white, and I'm using Howling sand. And this is going to do trousers, straps, and the jacket. I'll avoid the cuffs on the jacket, there would be a facing colour there. On the back of the model there's going to be the straps on the pack as well. A couple of straps across the centre of the canteen, and strap on the musket. So the Howling sand is dry. Don't panic if it looks a bit too yellowy green. We're going to dry brush now. I've got some Army Painter Fanatic matte white. It's going to pick out all the raised surfaces and leave some of that off-white deeper in the recesses. And bring the colour back up. And we can be as rough and ready as we like at this point. No other colours are on there, so just do it nice and quickly. Napoleonic Austrians had a wide range of facing colours, and I've been asked to do pink. So this is Speedpaint Princess Pink. A minute I'm doing the turnbacks. It's sort of hidden at the back by the cartridge box. You can see a little bit underneath the water bottle. Nicely defined lines sculpted on the model there. Pick them out in the facing colour. And then we've got collars, cuffs and shoulder straps to pick out. The skin is pretty straightforward. It's a coat of peachy flesh. The piano Wargames miniatures, the sculpts of the faces are incredibly lifelike. Swapping to the back of the model, I'm doing the pack with some Satchel brown. Try to avoid the straps, leaving them white. Could use this brown for any wood on the model if you wanted to save on paint. I now have some Grim Black, and first up I'm painting in the shako. The centre of the pom-pom would be in black, roundabout will be yellow, so try and leave a bit of the base coat there, or you can always go back and reapply if you smudge it over. The chin strap needs to be picked out. Need to do the cartridge box. The bayonet sheath. And the boots and gaiters. So both the stock of the musket and the wooden canteen are getting painted with dark wood. Next up is some Gravelord Grey for the great coat rolled up on top of his pack. If you're painting an officer, they'd potentially be wearing a great coat as well, and you could use this colour for their coat. This is a fairly small detail, all things considered, but with maize yellow, I'm doing the outside of the pom-pom. So I am picking out the oak leaves above the pom-pom with the green, like orc skin. This is Speedpaint Glittering Loot. And the plate on the shako. Button colours could be yellow or white metal, depending on the regiment. Tip of the bayonet sheath. I've got the metalwork of the musket to take care of, and I'm using polished silver. Couple of finishing touches. I've used some white to clear up any areas where there was some overspill, including inside the shoulder straps. I'm trying to keep that pink just to the piping on the outside. I've also got a little bit of ash grey, a little dry brush on the gaiters and the boots, top of the shako and the peak, cartridge box, and the greatcoat. And with that, I've got another 35 to do to get a large battalion. We'll see how they look all lined up. And I did get another 35 painted up, including a command with an officer, drummer, standard bearer, sapper, and an NCO. Standard bearer will get his flagpole and colours applied by the good folk at the Glasgow Napoleonic Wargaming Club. En masse, I think the simple approach works really well. I was able to churn out these models pretty quickly. And from a distance, I think you get the effect of the white uniformed mass of an Austrian battalion. The speed paints themselves are great, but I think just taking a little bit of time to do something as straightforward as dry brushing can really enhance the finish. And bringing back a bright white, especially to the straps on Austrians to sort of set them off against the slightly off-white cloth looks good. I've seen a picture of some Austrian uniforms in a museum, and the bright white straps really are a different shade of white from the cloth of the uniforms. Grim black is a fantastic colour that covers incredibly well, but there isn't much difference between highlight and shadow in comparison to something like Black Templar, so a grey dry brush really sets it off. I think these models from Piano Wargames are amongst the finest 28mm Napoleonic figures out there. You can get them cast in metal if you don't have access to a 3D printer, but they do print out wonderfully well. So to round off, I'd like to say thanks to the club members at Glasgow Napoleonic Wargaming at the ACVC Hub. If you want to check out their charity Leipzig Gaming Day, then I'll put some links in the description. I'd also like to say thanks to everyone that watches these videos. It's great to know that people out there are finding the painting guides useful. If you'd like to help support the channel like these great Patreons, then you can look in the description for some links which will help you become a channel member, join on Patreon, or buy me a coffee. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think of the video below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Bye for now.